Hello friends, how do we create machine? How do we set up networking? How do we create key-based authentication? The setting up the environment for OpenStack latest release, deployment using the scripting which are hosted on my GitHub account. So let's create a machine. What I have is I have downloaded Ubuntu 22.04 machine and so far nothing is available except these two adapters. These two adapters are host only adapter both. One is 10.10.0.1 and second is 203.0.113.1. This is going to be our external and this is going to be our management network. And the third one will be NAT. So let's create a machine and let's set up this. So I need to create a machine now. Click on machine, click on new, and let's create the first machine controller. Controller is going to be our first machine. ISO image is available in the download folder Ubuntu 22.04. Skip unattended installation because I want to configure everything on my own. Next, I will be giving 5.5 GB RAM to this machine, and after installing preliminary packages, configuring repositories and networking, I am going to create clone of this machine. So first machine is the only demonstration which I'm going to give. After that, it will be easy for us to carry on with the remaining machine. We don't have to do the installation of this Ubuntu every time. So let's do this installation first. 5.5 GB to CPU, and then RAM. The disk size is, I think, hard disk. If you look at 10 GB hard disk will be sufficient, or 11 GB more than sufficient. That is sufficient for us. Next, so finish this disk. Now let's go and check the settings once again. System, we did that 5.5 GB, processor 2, display is fine. Storage is, this is a controller machine, so I'm going to add one disk to it, and that disk will be 5 GB. What is the purpose of this disk? I'm going to use this disk for Cinder block volume. So this is the disk which I'm attaching to this. Again, one more thing here, when we say system settings, display, under system motherboard, I don't need floppy drive, so I can remove it and I can pull it down because I didn't need a floppy. Optical disk and hard disk are sufficient for this. Storage, two disk configured. Network, first adapter, I want this to be host only adapter. Second adapter, again host only adapter. And the third adapter I want is NAT based. So this will be ENP0S8, adapter 2 will be ENP0S9, sorry, the first adapter will be ENP0S3, second adapter will be ENP0S8, third adapter NAT based adapter will be ENP0S9. So three adapters I've configured, and any other thing apart from this, networking, serial ports, USB, shared folders, audio. I can disable audio, we don't need audio for this, and that's sufficient. Now let's start the machine. Point to be noted, Ubuntu ISO is inserted as a disk and installation will start automatically. So let's quickly finish the installation. So try or install Ubuntu server. That's what I'm doing. So this is the installation screen. English, the good enough. Select this by default, pressing enter key. Continue without updating is sufficient for us. Layout is good. Ubuntu server is what we want to install. So click on done. So these are the settings now. Let's look at the settings ENP0S3, that is first adapter. So let's configure it manually. Information, edit IPv4, yes. And I want to manual selection. 11, this is the IP address, gateway 10.10.0.1, name server 8.8.4.4, that's sufficient. And search domain, I don't want to put anything. Similarly, I can configure ENP0S8 also. I'm not configuring it right now. ENP0S9 is automatically configured. So, and no bond, nothing else. Uh, However, I want to configure this repository and I don't want this IN, that is India server. I want default server. So now let's say that repositories are fine. So let's click on done, continue. Use entire disk. That's what I want. So the disk is, this is going to be the partition. So default settings I'm accepting. Continue. Your name Ram N Sangwan. I will change it later on. Pick a username stack. This is going to be my default user. Password. Again, I'm keeping simple things, stack user, stack password, and continue. Open install SSH manager. Yes, I want to install it, and done. No, nothing else. Tab key and done, and wait for the installation to finish. You can click on view full log to see the complete process, how it is working. Installation is complete. So let's close it, and you see now reboot now button. Now I'll do a couple of changes in SSH also, because by default password based authentication is disabled and root is not allowed to log in. I'll make changes into etc ssh sssd underscore config file. I'll generate key as ssh user, as a stack user and root user. I will change the host name properly, and I will specify, I'll make changes into the configuration settings for the network, and rest part will be taken care by my installation script. So I will clone my repository and start the installation. It will be straightforward. So let's log in. Perfect, I'm logged in. Now sudo su hyphen and the password. This will help me to log in as root user, and let's first make changes into sshd. So let's go to this permit root login, and I am just making it yes. First change. Second, password with based authentication, which is enabled. Let me just uncomment this line. Enable password based authentication. Perfect. So these are the two changes I have done. I'll save the file. Systemctl restart sshd. This will restart my sssd. And let me make this stack user as sudo user, etc sudoers .d, and make the username file that will be easy for me to manage, stack user. And here I'll make the user stack to execute all commands, all within parentheses all, no passwd. I don't want this user to enter password while executing admin commands. No passwd, passwd, and stack. Oh, sorry, all. So this will make this a stack user sudoer, and you don't have to supply the password. Then changing the host name, etc host name, and I'll change this name to controller. So this is my controller machine. Change the host name. So host name configured. Let me check the IP address, IPA 10.10.0.11. So I can connect with using putty also. Reboot, and after login with my putty is up, I'm going to connect using putty, and I already configured putty with the IP address 10.10.0.11, and the controller is the machine. So it is saved already. The moment machine is up, I'm going to just log in using putty. That will help me do copy paste also, and it will be easier for me to manage. So let's log in. Controller, yes, it is allowing now. Stack user, stack password. Simple thing without complicating the things. And let me increase the font size also, appearance, so that you are in a better position to see all the outputs. Superb. So we are connected now. We can minimize this screen. Rest everything can be minimized, and let's adjust this size now. We'll be working here. So first thing what I'll do is I'll check ping Google. Internet is reachable or not. Okay, no. So let's make the changes now. Sudo su hyphen IP space A enp0s9 is configured properly. It is getting the IP address also. Let me just change vi slash etc slash netplan slash installer config. This is a default installation based configuration. and this is my ENP0S3, ENP0S9 network Ethernet. ENP0S3 is a DHCP base. No. Address is 10.10.0.11. Roots default via this. Name server fine. DHCP4 false. Version 2, and this I can delete. In fact, let me undelete it and remove it from here. And this is ENP0S9 with the DHCP4 is true. This is what it is fine. Let me generate the net plan based on this setting, and we'll do once again. So save. Net plan generated, the typing mistake. It was Ethernets. I just fixed that, and now we'll apply. Let me check vi/etc/resolve.conf. Oh, it is because of the name server given in this file. This is the wrong name server. It is because of this region. So I need to change the name server to 8.8.8. Yeah, let me change the name server. Because of this, it is not working. So this is Google name server now. Name server. Now I should be able to ping. This is giving me. Oh, finally it worked. Net plan generate, net plan apply, and after setting the value properly in resolve.conf, it worked. Cool. Let's generate the SSH key pair. SSH-key gen. Password is blank and generated. Similarly, I'll switch to root user. I'll exit from root user and I'll use the same command here, SSH-key gen and hyphen uppercase P. There is no password. And this will generate the password for stack user also. And now I can use clone my repository here on my GitHub account. Visit the GitHub. The repository you will find GitHub repositories, and this is my repository. I'll simply clone the repository as root user so that I can move it wherever I want. Sudo su hyphen and now git clone the repository. Git clone the repository. Hyphen y if down. This will install the package which is required. Yes, this is if up down. This will allow me to configure the manual interface which will be used by my OpenStack. So I'm waiting for this update to finish. Net plan generate, apply, Google is reachable, etc networks slash interfaces. This is the file I was talking about. So this is generated automatically. Now I need to make some changes into this file. So I need to make the changes for interface number 8. This interface is going to be my manual interface, which will be used by my OpenStack for external network setting. Provider network, I'll call it. This is the setting I need to do here. So all set, interfaces set, networking configured, hostname configured, SSH key based authentication configured, and repository is cloned. So you can see the repository is cloned, and go to this repository OpenStack, and here you will see the controller content and compute content and storage content. So what I am going to do is I'm going to create clone of this machine. So power off this machine now. After powering off, what we will do is we'll create clone. So we'll create two more machines. One will be storage and one will be compute. So simply right click on it, this machine, create clone, make a clone, make it compute. So next, full clone and done. Clones are completed successfully. Let's adjust the settings. Nothing much is to be adjusted except the RAM. I want to keep RAM a little less for this, and particularly for storage, to be honest. So I'm changing the RAM for the storage server. 2.5 GB is sufficient for the storage, and one processor will be sufficient because storage server will have only Swift object storage. So let's start compute, because before we start controller, to make changes for the host name and IP address, we need to edit few files in this machine, compute as well as storage, so that we adjust the host name and IP address. Right now they are ditto copy of controller. So IP address is same, host name is same. So we need to make these two changes in both the machines. Sudo -i to switch to root user, vi/etc/netplan, and inside that the IP address. And only difference is the IP address of compute machine. For me, it would be 31. Apart from that, there's no change. So 31 IP address. And second thing is vi/etc/host name. And here it is going to be compute. So host name is configured. Now I can reboot this machine. Stack. This is my storage machine. So I'm going to do the same changes here also. Sudo -i, that will take me to root user, vi/etc/host name, and then inside this I'll delete the line, I'll make it storage. That's the host name of this machine. And second is netplan, etc netplan, and we'll change the IP address. The IP address for this is 41, 10.10.0.41. So these are the changes. Once this IP address is changed, everything is set. Reboot this machine and we can start configuring our controller machine. We can start the compute machine. We can run all the machines now, and we will see the configuration and copying the files to the home directory of stack user from the repository which is already cloned. That's what we are going to do now. Now what I'll do is I'll switch to root user, sudo -i, and from here OpenStack repository, and from this repository, since I'm working as controller, so I'll go to the controller part of the repository and copy all files with -r. So copy -r */home/stack, and then go to the /home/stack and check the files. Right now these files are owned by root user, so chown -r stack dot stack and star. So if you choose ls-l command, you will see all the files are now owned by stack user. cd scripts, you can see all files are now owned by stack user. So my controller machine is configured. Now I can do the same thing with the compute and storage also. Let me start a new session for compute VM. So sudo su hyphen or sudo -i is the same thing. cd OpenStack Z compute cp-r */home/stack. So this will copy all the files from compute directory, and then go to /home/stack and change the ownership, chown -r stack dot stack and star. So all the files should be owned by stack user. So this is also successfully done. Now I'll repeat the same process for the storage machine also. So cd OpenStack -z/storage, cp-r *to/home/stack, cd/home/stack, and chown -r stack.stack all the files. Verify that all the files are owned by stack user. So team, all these machines are now properly configured. We are now going to execute the scripts one by one on all the machines. I can exit from here, and I'm working as stack user, and everything will be done here from these files. So in the next session, this session was main objective of this session was how to configure the environment for my repository to be used to deploy OpenStack using given scripts. So we have configured all the three machines with proper IP addressing, networking, and SSH key based authentication is also configured. I mean, the keys are generated, the scripts are properly configured, copied to the respective files, host names are configured. So we are good. We are ready to run the scripts that I will demonstrate in the next session. Thank you so much for watching.